And welcome to the Blood and Thunder track at the Roller Derby World Cup. You've joined us just as national anthems are about to begin. And a rapturous and thunderous sound fills the Blood and Thunder track for Ireland's team song. Something a little bit more of a party atmosphere for West Indies. Wow. God, the announcer's desk over here was alive with dance.
Now, I apologise, folks. You might be hearing a strange kind of puffing noise. That's basically where I've exerted myself dancing in my seats for the team song of the West Indies. Woo.
So, welcome, like I said, to the Blood and Thunder track. I'm Brom.
I'm Snoogans.
And it's wonderful to have you with us. The Gemma's already on the cheese ball start line, ready to go.
We are joined on production by the wonderful Suffolk Punch, going to be keeping us up to date with points and scores and all kinds of wonderful things. But right now we're straight into the action, and we have Tantrum and Siobhan Murphy jamming for Windies and Ireland respectively.
And it is Team Ireland that pick up lead. Siobhan Murphy off to a quick start, but Tantrum really isn't far behind.
Yeah, Tantrum less than half a track. Murphy coming around the outside, taking a big hit on the hip there, knocking them off track. Picked up 2 points before calling the jam.
And a stylish call-off, I might add as well.
Big guitar hero. Wow, wow.
For the first game of the day on the Blood and Thunder track, the crowds have certainly turned out in full force, and a vocal one at that. The Island fans have just been phenomenal the entire way through this tournament.
They're always a great crowd of fans, as are the Windies fans, to be fair. Both teams very much loved, and right now we've going one for with a bit of back and forth. Prisoner Cell Block picking up lead jammer for Windies, getting low and coming around that outside line along that first straightaway.
And Greenhow Cooney coming in, completed that initial not far behind, but called off, denying Ireland the opportunity to add any points.
So that's going to see Windies taking the lead. That full 4 points on the board for that pass for Prisoner Cell Block. So 4-2 at this early point in the game.
And stepping up to jam is Rusty Bullock, going up against Lil Savage for Team West Indies.
It's a beautiful offense from Ireland on the inside line, making just enough space for Rusty to get through to pick up that lead jammer status with what looked like ease. And, you know, I know it's not. Yeah. It's a hard job.
It is a hard job.
But she makes it look easy.
Rusty Bullock completing a scoring pass. Lil Savage having a bit more of a hard time. We're seeing the star being removed from helmet, and a successful pass to complete initial for Team West Indies.
Rockefeller now placing that helmet star cover onto the helmet, and Rusty Bullock takes a hit around turn 2, calls the jam from the floor. Did succeed in picking up the full complement of points though, so got ourselves a lead change.
I get the impression these teams might be a little bit more evenly matched than some of the other games we've seen so far. We'll give you a little bit of a rundown later on of some of the games that West Indies and Ireland have had to get them to this point.
Pet Cetera up on the jammer line for Windies, up against number 333 Darling for Ireland.
Darling pushing hard against a strong West Indies 3 wall.
And I mean, that wall controlled by the one and only Samuel Maxim. That's who you want as your backwards brace, isn't it?
But Darling is starting to make some progress, pushing out the West Indies wall. A bit of offence coming in. We are 30 seconds without a lead, but there it is. Darling picks it up. A great bit of offence gave her the opportunity to get through. Comes in on that scoring pass.
And we have had a star pass to captain Violet Attack, now in possession of the cover. It is on the helmet, and however, Darling getting through and again closing down that jam before Attack was able to make their way to the pack.
Nice little 180 call off there. I think we're going to see just the end of it coming through. No, that was the initial.
That hard-fought initial pass.
Yeah. So Snowden, team captain, stepping up to jam, welcomed with a great deal of noise.
And that's Peter Parker for Windies. Both jammers looking for that outside line.
Quite a fast-moving pack as it goes from turn 1 to 2. Ireland using that speed to their advantage, pick up lead.
Peter Parker being taken off and recycled back round to turn 2. Meanwhile, Snowden going for the inside line, just getting taken off and reset into that infield, and now taken off to the outside and reset. So both jammers kind of locked around that straightaway. And of course, as I say, locked around the straightaway, Snowden gets through and picks up a scoring pass. Okay, so I do believe we have had ourselves a star pass. Number 455, Booty Vicious, now your active jammer for Windies. Snowden, however, was already out of the pack, completes another scoring pass, calls off the jam.
Ireland starting to just eke out in front in the early few minutes of the game. We're seeing number 3, Siobhan Murphy. If you hadn't guessed, Ireland in green.
Yes.
Very fitting.
Yeah, Ireland in green and West Indies in the black with the red, green and yellow accents. West Indies having had 3 star passes in a row. So we're going to have to take a look, see if they can kind of work with it.
And that star removed immediately by Tantrum, the second that Ireland got leads. But it's not a star pass.
It's just a stash.
Just a stash, using that to their advantage. Maybe a bit of a tactic by West Indies. Holding Ireland only to 4 points in that jam.
And ultimately, if you are able to, if you don't get lead, but you are able to then pass the star, get out of the pack quickly and shut it down, you limit the damage that's going to be done to that differential. So we're lining up on the jammer line once more, that cheese ball jammer line. So we've got, that is Prisoner Cell Block jamming for Windies once again, and number 23, Greenhold Cooney, and that's going to be a lead jammer status being issued to Windies right now. Cooney is out and giving chase though.
Yep, and the pack picking up significant pace coming round turn 3 to 4, taking off. Ireland controlling that speed. West Indies getting through, just a hop, skip and a jump to pick up a hard-fought 1 point.
Yeah, Windies really, Ireland really racing that pack.
So the S1 Lifer Visor Helmet, next level protection, S1, the official helmet of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup.
Fresh jam means fresh jammers, and we've got Rusty Bullet and Lil Savage on the line, and Rusty Bullet, second lead jammer for her in this game. However, Lil Savage has managed to break free as well. Less than half a lap separates them.
Yeah, that pack congregating between 1 and 2. Calling it off, getting the hips in between the 2 blockers to pick up 2 points. To take another look at that initial, just that footwork on the outside line. And the cameraman agrees as well. Even he's impressed.
That's Kid. It's the lovely Michelle Deacon.
Oh, it is.
It is. Keen on the footwork. So we have, before we've even had the chance to tell you who's lined up, we've got Pet Cetera picking up lead jammer for Windies. A nice steady stance as well. Some deep crossovers, really digging in to come around to approach the pack with speed and control.
So Ireland controlling the speed of the pack again. They're getting into this habit of actually driving the pace off the pack, taking it off.
Pet Cetera managing to pick up 2 points before calling off the jam just in time to prevent Darling from picking up any points.
So a couple of jams now where we've seen West Indies pick up that lead. So we've got Captain Snowden, and incredibly low against that cheese balls bearing start line. We've got Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, of course, wearing that infamous face paint. You can spot her an absolute mile off.
Look at that control, driving the Ireland jammer to the inside line, recycled to the back, but actually gets back on incredibly quickly. No pass, no penalty. So the lead open for West Indies to take if they can get through, call it as quickly as they want. That scoring pass now coming in for Team Ireland. A jump over the apex. Windies calling it off, but Ireland managed to pick up 3 points in the progress.
Let's take another look. It's going to be that jump. Yes, so we can see that the apex jump had been landed, passing 3 of those blockers, but it was the takeoff after the land which caused the reset. So we're going to go into a team timeout as called by Windies. This timeout brought to you by Frogmouth. Let's talk about Frogmouth uniforms. Most of the World Cup teams are wearing Nearly all of them are a special kind of reversible jersey. One jersey dyed on both sides to make 2 tops for the weight of one. It's perfect for tournaments and travel teams. That's why 18 of the World Cup
18
teams.
World Cup teams.
These teams include Australia, Sweden and Argentina, and they're wearing them. Frogmouth would love to make your roller derby uniform. Contact Frogmouth today at frogmouthclothing.com.
There are some really nice team jerseys that we're seeing on the track.
So we are just over 10 minutes into this game. We've got Windysat on 7 points, Team Ireland on 34. So still a relatively low scoring game, and I think that represents the rankings that we've been having a look at as of the end of day 2.
Yeah, both Ireland and West Indies winning their respective games yesterday. Ireland against Korea, a big win, 131 points differential between the two. And West Indies versus Poland, it was won by 90 points.
So both of them coming into this quite strong today, and we can see that they're rested, they're ready, and they're determined to really make an impact in this game.
And that looks like West Indies have picked up the lead with great response to that tantrum. Actively Jammer fast to come in on the scoring pass. Ireland now out on initial. Siobhan Murphy.
Tantrum, quick way through the pack, taking a couple of hits and really riding the momentum. Taken to the outside line, did just pick up the single point. However, one unanswered point is better than no points or negative points.
Absolutely.
Just steadily chipping away at that lead. Prisoner Selbok taking on number 23, Greenhall Cooney. Jam is on this Blood and Thunder track. Oh, beautiful toe stop work on the outside line by Cooney. Does get rewarded lead jammer status. However, Prisoner Selbok only has 2 blockers left to pass, and she's done it. She's absolutely done it, pushing them as far as she could out of the engagement zone.
12 minutes into the game, we're seeing a very clean game from everyone involved. We've not seen many people go and take a seat down in the penalty box.
So 4 points on the board. Cooney managing to pick up the full 4 in that pass.
So we're seeing Rusty Bullets against Lil Savage on the Cheeseballs Bearings start line.
Now can Rusty make it 3 for 3?
Oh, look at that. No pass, no penalty, so it is again up for the taking.
No, it's not. I've just had a look. I can see that Lil Savage has removed that helmet cover. Whether she's going for a stash or a pass is yet to be seen. However, with the cover off, that does mean that lead is closed.
So we've now lost the opportunity. We'll see the full 2 minutes run out. This is a great opportunity for Ireland to run some rings around West Indies.
And that's what Rusty's going to try and do. That's another 5 in the sky Grand Slam pass.
So a multiplayer block being assessed on Ireland's number 24, Rolo Tomasi, who's off to the penalty box. Successfully through on the initial pass for Lil Savage.
Great defensive work by Ireland, however, took nearly a full minute for Savage to get out. Penalty issues for Ireland. The third blocker heading to the box. See Savage through on a smooth 4-point pass.
Yeah, it's a very, there's a lot of green missing from the track at the moment. And that does seem to be working a little bit in the West Indies' favour. Lil Savage taking a knee.
So we do have just the one blocker on track for Ireland at the moment as we're switching people in and out of the box.
2 returning to the track. The strength of that wall slowly gaining momentum. West Indies really maintaining quite a tight density between them, really together, really taking the tracks out of Rusty Bullet.
Rusty managing to pick up the full 4 points in that pass. Let's take another look. Oh! So that's happened a couple of times so far with Ireland. They've managed to land the apex jump, but it's been that follow-up hit just on the other side of the apex that's kind of...
ready and waiting.
Yes.
But a 14-point jam by both in the last jam there.
Seeds are sitting 22 to 52. That's a 30-point differential. And we're going to move straight into the next jam with Darling and Petcetera up on with the star, sorry. A really kind of swarming pack on display here, but we are now in a power jam situation. Petcetera heading to the penalty box, and pretty much just as Darling picks up lead jammer. So this is the most favourable position to be in for any team. Lead jammer, power jam, full control.
Darling signalling to her teammates that she'd like a little bit of offence going through, catching one of the West Indies player, holding them back. West Indies slightly apart but reforming. Here come Ireland, completely separating West Indies, but not enough because it's still holding back Darling at the moment.
Amazing penalty kill. Petcetera back on track, although going to go straight back to the box for a back block. That was a pretty clear-cut issue. What I'm loving about West Indies right now is that they've got that brace wall, that loose four as we saw, but they keep having smacks kind of pulling off just to the front a little bit, and it's almost the reverse of a goat. Yeah. So you've got smacks there in case that jammer gets past, because it is 9 times out of 10 smacks is gonna get them off.
Yeah, and we saw that on the turn 4 just a moment ago. Ireland came in with that full offence, but smacks was there regardless.
Nope.
Puts in the last minute hit, denied. So how would you like to get a different roller derby shirt every single month? It sounds pretty cool, right? You can sign up to have a different shirt from around the world at rollerderbyshirtclub.com. Okay,
so we're starting this jam on a power jam. If you will recall, Petcetera starting in the box from that back block, and we've got Siobhan Murphy has picked up lead jammer. Petcetera heading back to the track now.
Everyone's back together. And it's Team Ireland with 4 points picked up.
Petcetera has removed the helmet cover. It is in hand, and I think that's some ferocious offense from Booty Vicious.
That.
I've known a close personal friend, me and Booty Vicious, not name dropping at all. And Booty Vicious has always been well known for her toe stop work, and she really likes to get up on those toe stops and really get in the way.
And that she did look in the way, but on that occasion, Siobhan Murphy just sailing through the pack.
Yeah. We have had a star pass to pivot Booty Vicious now. Pack is long.
Yeah, that pack's going over about 50 feet at the moment, but it's being brought back together.
Nice little bit of almost a confunctious charm in the pack there, as the Ireland blockers were trying to recycle Vicious. They kind of just separated the pack and gave plenty of space for Murphy to go through and complete another scoring pass.
But look at Booty Vicious really struggling to get through that wall. West Indies coming in with some offense now, just trying to force that initial pass. But incredible defense work from Ireland there. Wow.
Absolutely phenomenal. I definitely want to get my eyes on this again. It's just that little drop. It's just enough to slip out of the reach of a hit check. Siobhan Murphy, quite small in stature anyway, So that shoulder drop can make a massive impact to the area that you're...
Look at how huge the points are on that last jam.
39-point jam. I think that's the biggest jam score I've seen from the... That is the biggest jam score I've seen from the games that I've called this weekend.
Yeah, and it is for me as well.
Yeah.
And I've been doing some England games and some... there's been some great jammers, but incredible work from Ireland. Now taking that lead out 93-22 as they pick up lead. Snowden coming in on the scoring pass.
Peter Parker, meanwhile, pushing against the pack, looking for some offense, but Wendy's now in a little bit of penalty trouble.
Yeah, they've fallen into a similar trap that Ireland did in the jam before last, just losing quite a few of their blockers to the box. Peter Parker, incredibly nimble, but really struggled to push and has been sent for a multiplayer block. So it is a power jam for Ireland.
Do you know what? That is the second jammer multiplayer block I've seen this weekend.
And I've seen quite a few actually. They're becoming a little bit more
they're
common.
generally lesser spotted. I'm not sure if it's where jammers are taking whips off teammates. And obviously we've got the opposing blockers trying to run the defense.
Yeah.
But it's definitely seems to be more prevalent. So we're going to start with a pack advantage and a power jam in favour of Ireland. We've got Peter Parker sat in the box as Wendy's jammer.
Yeah, we're just seeing a timeout being called at the moment. The wonderful Yoshi in the middle of the track calling that timeout, letting us know what's happening. But I tell you what, let us know where you're watching in the world right now.
Absolutely.
Tweet, post on Instagram, selfies, viewing parties, whatever it is, using hashtag RDWC2018. That was so close on that replay.
It was like just one wheel. One wheel is enough. Like, don't risk it, but so close. I can jam on a wafer thin mint. But yes, I know that there are a few people from my home league down in Nottinghamshire that are having a viewing party this weekend. Steve, send us photos of the blanket fort. Ruby, let us know what's going on. I want to see them. I miss you. I hope you're enjoying everything. And everybody, seriously, as Brom said, we want to see what ridiculous antics you're getting up to this weekend.
Absolutely.
Watching at home.
And as the excitement mounts towards Sunday, the big final day, a UK first in roller derby will be broadcasted live on BBC Sport, the UK's biggest and most trusted broadcaster. We are incredibly excited to see that unfold. Now the timeout over. Cooney's picked up lead for Team Ireland. Remember, Peter Parker still sat in the penalty box, so a power jam for Ireland.
Cooney coming through incredibly quick along the inside line to complete that first scoring pass. Background again already. Successfully taken off though by number 7 Regis.
Peter Parker coming in incredibly quickly, returns to track and gets that initial within mere seconds.
Parker really digging in around the outside line. Oh, so close. Need to draw attention to the fact as well, Wendy's currently still sat on 22 points as we move towards the 8-minute mark remaining of the first half. Team Ireland, especially after that massive 39-point jam, now on 112 points.
Just a quick shout out to Rydell Skates, proud sponsors of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup.
Tantrum and Rusty Bullet facing off on the jammer line. Wendy's still in penalty trouble. However, that doesn't really seem to be having an impact. Tantrum is through as your lead jammer for Wendy's. Rusty Bullet is chasing down.
And you're going to see Tantrum come in for that scoring pass. It comes there, calls it off quickly. Rusty Bullet just taking a little tumble towards the end of that jam. We're going to see that lead again.
Beautiful. some nice, a little bit of almost sort of offensive work from Windies. They had the Irish blockers focused on the outside of the track.
Yeah, nice distraction technique. A last minute adjustment of the pack.
That's Darling and Prisoner Cell Block for Ireland and Windies respectively. A real swarm type of pack, a lot of movement from sort of inside to outside, almost the pack as a whole.
Darling at the back there, struggling. Bit of offense coming in from Gemma Harvey. Gemma Harvey looks like she's disrupted the West Indies team just enough to give an advantage over the pack. Pushing towards the front now. Both teams having to bridge out their respective blockers. Look at the sheer force at which both jammers are pushing and pushing hard. Nearly a minute with no lead.
Absolutely.
We've not even done
phenomenal.
half the track.
No. I tell you what, it's turn one. That seems to be what's getting everyone sticking.
This is absolutely phenomenal. Barely moving inches each time. A penalty called for a multiplayer block against one of the West Indies blockers. Now 3/4 of the track, 3/4 of the jam gone. No lead.
Just utterly, oh my gosh, Regis, what a takeoff.
Darling having completed an entire lap of the track without completing initial, gets recycled to the back. Are we going to go an entire jam with no lead? I haven't seen that yet this World Cup.
Oh my gosh, we're down to 13 seconds. We're just coming up to that cheese ball start line right now.
They've gone all the way around and the lead is called at the absolute last seconds. 3 seconds left of the jam.
Wow. Just absolutely phenomenal. I have goosebumps, I have chills. Do you know what? For a jam where technically nothing happened, that was incredible.
Yeah, so much really did happen, and I think actually that was a bit of flexing from both teams. Going, this is what we've got, World Cup. This is what we've got to show you.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
And they did.
And they did. We're right back into a fresh jam with some explosive action happening, folks. We've got Snowden for Ireland and Lil Savage up for West Indies. And again, it's that turn one.
And look at the density of the pack. It's so dense, in fact, that Mass, our wonderful ref, almost covered the entire pack because that's how much they were pushed together. Now stretching out ever so slightly. Team Ireland picking up. Snowden now leads.
Still taking around 35 seconds.
Yeah.
It's taking, obviously our previous jam is an exception, but it's taking longer and longer for us to be picking up lead jammers.
5 in the sky for Snowden, adds them to the Ireland score.
I think Savage might be going for a star pass. We've got the helmet cover has been dropped.
It's been recovered. Look at how tightly at the back there is being pushed against Ireland.
That is a nice 3-wall.
It's really nice.
That brings me joy. I tell you what, Brom, when I saw that we had the feed for this game, when the rosters came through last night, I was super happy. I have not been disappointed.
No, this game has really provided us with some amazing world-class athleticism and entertainment, and we're only still 2 minutes left of the first period.
But that is a confirmed star pass. Violet Attack now in possession of the star. It's not yet on her helmet, but it is in her hand.
So, yeah, Violet Attack dropping it just in the last second there.
Just another look at that incredible pack. Oh. So, as Brom said, we're moving into the final stages of this first half. Just over 2 minutes left on the clock. Windies 24, Ireland 127.
And that was very nearly a lead declared, but a clockwise block has been assessed on one of the Team Ireland blockers.
Murphy through, but not lead. That no pass, no penalty again. Siobhan Murphy picking up a couple of them so far. And we do have Petzedera through as well, but also not lead. Although, okay, it looks like it was a miscommunication.
Has now been called lead.
Has now been called lead. I think because we had the penalty be issued at the same time Murphy was released from the pack, you hear a whistle, you see somebody out of the pack, you make the
You would
connection.
make that connection, of course. And our officials have been doing a phenomenal job over the last couple of days. All 198 of them.
198 officials.
And spending some time with them over the last couple of days and watching them in action, they've been absolutely phenomenal.
It's awe-inspiring because we've had some absolutely ridiculous games, some really intense stuff, some incredibly close games, some games really the opposite way, and they've constantly maintained their posure and professionality.
So Cooney picks up lead for Team Ireland. Tantrum also through on that initial less than a quarter of a track behind her. Coming in now on a scoring pass, so we're going to see a hit it and quit it situation. We are. But we're also going to see an official review from Windies. So this official review is brought to you by Sweet 80. Sweet80.com is the new roller derby inspired leisurewear brand dedicated to Clara Sweetbix Lawrence. Sweet 80's range of hoodies, jackets, vests, tees and accessories are perfect for the track, gym and street. Suck it up. A portion of the profits go to Claire Lawrence Foundation to fund brain cancer charities. Sweet80.com. Wear, roll, give. So we'll bring you the information on the official review as soon as we have that. In the meantime, just have a look at the first day of the World Cup and how Ireland and West Indies performed. We saw a win and a loss for each, respectively. You can have a look at the start of that jam again. We saw that drawback and that takeoff there. Yeah. So Netherlands played Ireland in what was one of the closest games of the World Cup. On the first day, on the first morning, it was 62 for Netherlands, 79 for Ireland, and won in the last seconds of the game. It was very level peggings the entire way through. At one point I looked over, it was 40-40, then it was 62-62. Wow. The West Indies-Sweden game, Sweden had a great game, 236 for 11. Ireland, Australia, 238 for 6. But the West Indies-Norway game, 116 for West Indies, 90 for Norway. So we're going to bring you that official review information incredibly shortly. We're just having that relayed to us right now. In the meantime, Rusty Bullet against Prisoners Cell Block. Have you got the information on that official review for us, Snuggins? I do. So Windies were looking for a cut to be called on Ireland's jammer for stepping out of bounds. But it was determined that the player that had taken them out of bounds also went out of bounds themselves, so no penalty and no call stands. Excellent. So this will be our last jam of the period. The period clock expired. Yet to see a lead called. It is looking like Ireland are getting incredibly close to being that lead, though. Some last-minute defence going in from number 99 for West Indies. And it is that lead called. The star has been removed from the West Indies jammer and passed to Rockefeller.
So Rockefeller moving inside to outside, searching for those gaps, and finds them. Now going to take a moment as she completes this initial pass to place the cover on her helmet, but the jam called.
So that brings an end to the first period. Just going to have a look at that initial look at how dainty on the inside of turn 3. Bit of jamming one.
So yes, that sees the end of our first half here on the Blood and Thunder track at Event City in Manchester. We have scores sitting 28 for Windies. Ireland out in the lead with 143.
And in the meantime, do get in touch, tweet some of your highlights of the game so far, hashtag RDWC2018, and they'll be featured on the screen during half time. I've been Brom.
I've been Snoogs.
And we're back with you shortly.
Welcome back, folks, to your second half of Team Ireland versus Team Windies on the Blood and Thunder track here at Event City in Manchester for the Roller Derby World Cup 2018.
Absolutely. In the half-time, I hope you were checking out some of the other games taking place on the other tracks because we had a little glance at the Scotland-Wales game, Battle of the Home Nations taking place behind us on track 3 at the moment. Wales out in front. They've got a good lead with about 12 minutes left of the game now, but Scotland fighting hard to catch up. They're not huge amounts between the two at the moment. Also, we've got Austria, England drawing to a close as well on track 1.
I also heard that for their choice of opening song, Austria selected their most recent Eurovision Song Contest entry. Absolutely fantastic.
We love the passion. And so we are 30 seconds away from resuming. Team Ireland against Team West Indies. 143 plays 28 if you're just joining us in the first half. We saw what I would say is two much more evenly matched teams than perhaps the scores are currently reflecting.
Yes.
When the West Indies had their defence together and they were performing tight, Ireland was struggling to get through.
They really were.
But once that offence came in from Ireland, the West Indies blockers just creating quite a lot of gaps.
Yeah, and I mean, there was that jam, which I feel that we'll be talking about all day, where we had lead issued with 3 seconds remaining. We've got a cacophony of whistles to get us started here. It looks like it was a yes, penalties flying everywhere, basically. We've got Siobhan Murphy as your lead jammer. But once again, Little Savage coming out of the pack, giving chase, and doing what she can to shut it down.
Both Ireland and West Indies currently down one blocker. Quite some speed to the pack at the moment, but it draws to a close with West Indies not picking up 2 points.
There's something that I've seen Ireland doing before where, especially if they've got somebody in the penalty box, they will try and run that jam for as long as possible to get them out. I think that's what we just saw there. So it looked like they might have been able to get their blocker out of the box. So they ran the jam a little bit longer than they possibly intended, and that's how we saw Windies managing to pick up a couple of points. And again on that inside line, Rusty Bullet, oh my goodness.
Yep, Rusty Bullet and Tantrum going toe-to-toe.
Rusty was lead, Tantrum managing to overtake coming out of that turn 1. Forcing the call off for no points for anyone.
And
look at the bottom of the screen. Just
fantastic.
Glorious.
I believe that was perhaps our first pointless jam of the game when there's been obviously we had that first one in the first half.
The jam.
We'll
just call it the jam.
Where we saw lead in the last 3 seconds.
And yes, we have had it confirmed by our statistician. That was our first, quote, pointless jam where we actually had people out of the pack. So we've got pivot number 42, Gemma Harvey heading to the penalty box as Prisoner Cell Block gets out of the pack to pick up lead jammer for Windies, and now up on a scoring pass already.
And pushing out those those Ireland blockers with some speed.
And that's going to be a natural Grand Slam pass for Prisoner Cell Block with Greenhall Cooney still in the pack.
Some great defence work from West Indies. The star currently held in hand by Cooney.
It looks like Cooney's trying to pass to Harvey.
And has dropped that star now, manages to recover it.
We have had that star pass. Harvey now in possession. However, the Windies blockers absolutely on it, ready and waiting to take down Harvey. And you know what? Harvey, trying to get around the blockers on the outside, picked up a forearms penalty.
Yeah, I think that was Yoga Nabisari, that final hit to the outside of the track.
Yeah, and as Harvey was trying to stay in bounds, I think there might have been a bit of a grab coming around the hips of the blockers. And that's going to see West Indies starting with a power jam, and that right there was our first Ireland jammer penalty and star pass.
So Tantrum with an open opportunity and takes full advantage, sails through Ireland's blockers.
So Windies have got themselves a goat. Promising things.
West Indies doing some really nice work in the pack before jammer arrival. Harvey is now standing and returning to track with star in hand, so just be mindful of that. Harvey now in action on the outside, pushed by West Indies, last minute hits and taken out by Black 31, who receives a forearms penalty.
So that's Smacks and Bowser heading to the box. So we're now down to 2 blockers for Windies, and that's going to be a completed initial pass for Harvey. But Tantrum picking up 2 more points before calling off the jam. 12-point scoring pass, 12-point total, sorry, for Windies. Let's have another look at that initial pass from Tantrum. Straight down the centre line. Clean as you like.
So Petsetera for Team West Indies. It's a 2 blockers for West Indies remaining on the track, doing a great job, but it's always going to be difficult when there's just the 2 of you and you've got a force like Snowden going up against you.
Kudos to Petsetera and Attack for trying though. Sometimes you see blockers when there's only 1 or 2 of them on the track and they're just like, there's not even any point.
And they still held on to her for a good 10-15 seconds.
Yeah. So the Windies blockers now returning to track. Being exchanged. Violet Attack sitting in the box now.
Out of play called, allowing Ireland to pick up the full Grand Slam. 5 in the sky.
Petsetera being recycled back past that cheese ball bearing start line. Meanwhile, Snowden with another Grand Slam pass.
Yeah, 15 points now picked up for Ireland.
Regis with the recycle on Snowden.
Nice reforming from West Indies, but that initial pass now completed.
Yeah, Petsetera going for the star stash to complete that. I think we saw a little fake out pass to Violet Attack, but you know when it's so smooth, like if you're going to tip somebody in a restaurant or something and try to do the Chandler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just slide it in.
Yeah. So for this next jam, we are going to see Prisoner Cell Block jamming against Siobhan Murphy. Murphy is currently your foremost jammer up against that tripod wall.
Murphy getting some speed, dupes the West Indies blockers, gets round on the outside of turn 2. And are we going to see that star come off again from West Indies? It's off. And Pivot and Jammer are so close together that there may have been a star pass completed quite sneakily. Pivot is in possession.
Yep, I was going to say, from the duking, you can just... It's the style of skating changes. So you could do the most subtle star pass that ever happened, but your stance changes.
You adopt jammer persona.
Yeah.
And of course that star having to be visible in some way, even if it is in your hand anyway.
You go from, I am a blocker, this is what I do, I stop people, to...
No, you stop me.
I didn't choose the Jam Life chose me. I was born into the jamming.
So Tantrum and Rusty Bullet, a matchup that we've seen quite a few times on the track.
Rusty coming out victorious on all of the occasions that we have seen. Am I just saying things that will no longer be true from the moment they leave my mouth?
So it's Tantrum that picks up lead for West Indies. Rusty Bullet gets out on the initial pass. Tantrum now coming on the scoring pass, gets taken to the inside, but picks up a forearms penalty, so a power jam in the favour of Ireland. The full 2 minute jam will run.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but Rusty Bullet basically just took a bunch of hits and came around the outside line on 1 foot to complete a scoring pass. It was glorious.
And look at that 180, and now we're seeing Rusty Bullet picking up a forearms penalty, so the jammer switch will take place. Tantrum will be released back to the track.
Tantrum was already standing, so we're probably going to see 23-24 seconds being served by...
And look at that juke by Tantrum, a jump to the outside, inside, gets through, tricks Team Ireland.
We've still got 35 seconds left on this jam. Rusty Bullet now standing in the box. Tantrum coming along that second straightaway, sizing up the pack.
Bowser trying to catch a goat in the back for Ireland.
Meanwhile, Rusty Bullet wiping out Regis. She is happy.
A big shoulder hit to the chest, taking Regis down. Tantrum in play. Look at that tight Ireland 3-wall. Some offense going in. A massive hit by Bowser against Rolo Tomasi to finish the jam.
That was like a punch.
I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that shoulder.
No, thank you very much. So we're going to take another look at that initial pass.
Some nice juking in that jam from Tantrum.
9 points on the board for Windies in that jam, 12 for Ireland. As we hit the 18.5 minute mark, we've got Windies on 60, Ireland on 185.
So the crowd noise is mounting. Ireland's Cooney leads. Lil Savage removing the star for West Indies, and at the last second is knocked to the inside of turn 3. It's currently being recycled all the way back, while Ireland on that scoring pass.
Looks like it was Zoe Hayes that delivered that devastating blow. Disorderly now with a devastating blow of her own. Greenhall Cooney looking for the space on the inside line, and Disorderly just stepping into the way and saying, no, we would like you to go back to turn 2, please.
So there has been a star pass. Booty Vicious now in possession of the star for West Indies. And Did you see every step of the way Booty Vicious was nearly on the edge of going on the outside of the track, but managed to retain it to complete initial for Team West Indies.
Yeah, I want to see another look at that. Just running, and there we go.
And it was just the unfortunate last second. Sometimes those last second hits pay off.
As we get back into it and move into Jam 9, we have Prisoner Cell Block and Darling donning their respective stars and clovers. And that's going to be Prisoner Cell Block picking up another lead jammer status for Windies. Bit of a tumble coming into the second straightaway. The Windies block is recovering quickly to swarm around Darling.
And look at that incredibly strong 2-wall out of front of the pack, now rejoined by the rest of Team Windies. A multiplayer block issued on West Indies. Sammy Lil Smackums.
Right now we've got Prisoner Cell Block looking to complete a scoring pass. Picks up 2 points but shuts down the jam before Darling is able to come round and pick up anything. This next jam will be brought to you by Strong Athletic. Strong Athletic believes that every human has the right to celebrate their strength, play sports, be active, find their power, speak their voice and be seen. StrongAthletic.com.
So we're seeing Siobhan Murphy and Beat Her Parker. Siobhan Murphy gets through to pick up leads. Beat Her Parker having a bit of a hard time. The helmet cover removed incredibly quickly. Not yet past the pivot, still held in hand, taking the outside of turn 1.
The option to pass the pivot is now closed as Rockefeller takes a seat in the penalty box. Murphy coming round on another scoring pass, takes a hit from, that is Booty Vicious, recycles back to turn 1 to reset.
And finds that space on the inside to pick up the Grand Slam. Beat Her Parker now returned to track.
Siobhan Murphy around the outside for that Grand Slam pass. Multiplayer block being assessed to number 45, O'Flaherty. We have Parker still looking for that initial pass. As Siobhan Murphy completes her 4th scoring pass. 20 points on the board for Ireland so far. 32 seconds left on the jam clock.
And really nice work from Murphy to pick up another Grand Slam. A really great scoring jam from Murphy, taking Team Ireland's score to a brilliant 222 with 25 points scored by Murphy.
There was that little hit there that slowed her down just a bit, but there was the quick recovery and a little skip across the apex to complete that pass that she was trying to make there.
So on the line, that's Pet Cetera and Rusty Bullet. Little Crash taking a bit of a tumble at the front. And Ireland picking up lead. Rusty Bullet.
And we can see the tactic forming now we've seen the tactic forming for West Indies. The minute that lead is lost, that helmet cover is removed and it's held in hand. Ireland have also got wise to this, and that instant they're then trying to make sure they separate the jammer and the pivot. So we're going to be in a power jam now for Ireland. Petzetta picking up a forearms penalty and will go and take a seat in that box.
And Petzetta looking like she actually had the helmet cover. She dropped it on the outside of the track and then got it caught up in her own skate in the process of receiving a penalty. And so while going to the box, actually stumbled over a few more times as well.
Rusty calling the jam there, freezing Petzetta into the penalty box. She is standing though, so it's going to be less than 10 seconds. But we are going to have an official review as called by Team West Indies. Got some Team West Indies skaters there playing shadow bench.
So a big thank you to Europe's original Derby-owned and devoted skate shop, Sucker Punch, is dedicated to helping you with honest advice to find exactly what you need and more. Their technical know-how and expertise is completely unrivaled and is available with all of your favourite gear and the fast shipping that they offer throughout Europe. Visit them, suckerpunchskateshop.com, and keep those social media posts coming. Hashtag RDWC 2018. I was looking through Instagram last night as I was going to bed and just seeing the sheer number of thousands of posts that people have been sharing, Instagram stories. I'm following the hashtag, so do keep them coming because it's great. It really adds to the atmosphere here.
Yeah, we understand that not everybody has been able to attend, and while we'd love essentially the whole world to be here, although we've got a potato, so that's a good start. It is brilliant that the stream is available and as it is being provided. And we do love that everybody at home is getting involved, having some mates round, getting a takeaway, a couple of beverages of your choice. Hashtag drink responsibly. But yeah, the people are getting involved and that they're still managing to enjoy this incredible event, even though they're not able to be here at the venue with us in Manchester.
So a big thank you to the official mouthguard of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup, Sisu mouthguards, and of course our official helmet, S1 helmets. Everyone is very grateful for all the people that make this wonderful event happen. So that official review comes to end. We're going to bring you that as soon as we have it. It's being relayed to us right now. But in the meantime, remember, it's a Power Jam start for Team Ireland. Petzetta now released from the box, will be joining the back of the pack. See on the far side of your screen. And it is Team Ireland that don't pick up lead because it is no pass, no penalty. So Petzetta pushing hard into the pack. The ability to pick up lead now lost. Petzetta removing the helmet cover.
So that official review, West Indies were looking for an illegal contact penalty to be called on Ireland jammer. It was determined that all contact made was legal, so no call stands and they lose their official review.
So on the track we have a minute left of this jam. Ireland losing one of their blockers to the box. Tight pack, Ireland reforming. Rockefeller having a bit of a hard time, finds an opening and is shut down by number 45, O'Flaherty from Ireland.
Rockefeller resetting herself quickly and going straight at that pack again, testing all possible edges. Absolute props to that pirouette there from Booty Vicious. Previous to the pirouette, she was absolutely on the jammer and really causing her some serious issues trying to create a pass. She's still doing it now, to be fair.
Both jammers having an incredibly hard time. They seem to have reached an impasse as the 2 minutes expires, as 4 points picked up apiece. So not long left of this second half. Less than 10 minutes.
Indeed, at the 9-minute 40 mark, we've got 66 points to Windies, 239 to Ireland. We've got Tantrum facing off against Snowdon. And Tantrum is through along that inside line as your lead jammer. Meanwhile, Snowdon has been taken off and recycled. Oh, big hit. Some nice two-wall work. Penalty being issued to Violet Attack, so that's one blocker down for Windies. Meanwhile, Tantrum is just doing a little bit of lap running right now.
I noticed that Disorder Lee was putting in a lot of hard work in that last jam. Great shoulder work.
Do you even block, bro? 9 points on the board, 9 unanswered points for Windies in that one, bringing them up to 75.
And we are underway. Murphy, prisoner cell block.
Both jammers had a reasonably successful game in terms of leads. It's going to be another notch on the belt there for Siobhan Murphy. Prisoner cell block, though, using some a little bit of juking and that strength that we've seen from her already in this game, especially in that jam, to really push the pack. Murphy with a natural grand slam as Prisoner Selblock has, I was going to say one blocker left to pass, but we've got some nice reformation at the front of the pack.
Look at that one-on-one action. Incredible at the front of the pack. That initial pass finally completed by Prisoner Selblock. It was a hard-fought initial pass.
Mega hard. See that scoring pass. We're moving to a team timeout as called by West Indies. Ireland, one mistake.
So did you know that by the age of 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? And Girls on Track Foundation think, and I completely believe in this myself, that roller derby can change that. Yeah. We're seeing that in leagues across the country and across the world. The engagement in sport from people that haven't engaged in physical activity for years and then coming to roller derby and finding it something that they can work hard towards is incredible. So learn more about that at girlsontrackfoundation.org.
And of course, tomorrow you will get to see some perfect examples of young people being involved in roller derby, and you can see the impact that has on them at our junior expedition game ahead of the 3rd, 4th place game tomorrow. That will be one of the games that's being covered via BBC on BBC Sports. And if you've never seen junior roller derby before, folks, please do make sure you tune in. It is absolutely incredible to see these kids that have no fear playing the sport that we do, just really small.
Really small versions of us, but really incredible athletes, as is being demonstrated by Rusty Bullet as she gets lead, comes through, doesn't quite manage to get through on a scoring pass just yet. Lil Savage also on that initial pass.
Ouellette now causing some trouble for Rusty Bullets. Gave just enough space for Lil Savage to get out.
Well, no point changes to the points differential on that one, as both jammers pick up 4 points, 251 for 79.
This next jam brought to you by Roll-Line, the Italian skating experience since 1999. Greenhall Cooney and Tantrum. Tantrum again with that juking that we've seen so invaluable early on in the game. Greenhall Cooney is your lead jammer, but Tantrum is out of the pack and is giving just everything.
Yeah, the wash of green cheering prominently as Cooney sails around the outside to pick up another 4 points.
Cooney's jammer ref nods in agreement with us. Yes, 4 points. So we've got just under 5 minutes remaining of this game, folks. Don't forget, on this track after this, we will see Switzerland take on the Philippines.
So Captain Snowden jamming for Ireland, going up against Windy's prisoner Cell Block. Snowden recycled back, but very fastly followed by prisoner Cell Block, also recycled. Snowden now your active lead.
Cell Block is out, although we have had a star pass. My mistake, I do apologise. Violet Attack now your active jammer for Windies.
It was an incredibly seamless and quick star pass, though.
I was going to say.
It was straight off the helmet, straight in the hands, and forcing off the jam with 0 points picked up by either side. I think we've seen quite a lot of that from Team West Indies, those golden moments where their intentions have completely followed through. They've held Ireland to either the same amount of points or to no points, but it just hasn't been consistent enough throughout the game. There's been quite a few occasions where Ireland have just been running those jams and adding, 39-point jams.
39-point jams. So we do have a lead jammer for you right now. It's Siobhan Murphy with the white 4-leaf clover on the helmet. That was Bomb smashing his drinks bottle into his mic.
You've exposed me for my unprofessionalism.
The things I could tell you. That's you at home, folks. We have had a star pass as well. Booty Vicious now in possession of the star.
Ireland losing Rolo Tomasi to the penalty box. The bench signalling to track to call it off. 3 minutes remaining on the period clock. Start the revolution, the first brand for women in contact sports. Revel contactwear.com, #make an impact. So we're seeing an official timeout. I cannot believe we are on the third day of the Roller Derby World Cup already. Where has it all gone? 36 games on day one, 22 games on day two. And today we're seeing an equally packed schedule. And yes, we know you, the viewer, is going to have to really force yourself to see what it is that you want to watch. You're going to flick between tracks.
I've seen a lot of people who have got a split screen setup going with all four penalties, for all four screens, sorry. The reason I said penalties is because I can see on track that we've had, that the reason for our official timeout is that we've had an illegal procedure penalty issued to one of Windy's blockers, So we've had to make sure they're sat in the penalty box. It was a prisoner cell block, so we've had to switch somebody off track and get them in the box. So we're going to get straight back into it right now. We've got Tantrum and Rusty Bullet. Tantrum being recycled by Regis, and that means I'm going to reword that. Rusty Bullet being recycled by Regis, which means Tantrum is your lead jammer.
Yep, and the first time we've seen lead in a little while for Team West Indies. Rusty Bullet now being recycled and holding the jammer, the helmet cover in hand.
Roller Tomasi out of the penalty box trying to offer some offense, but Rusty manages it on her own. Again, up on those toe stops, that just really glorious footwork. So penalty to the jam being called by Tantrum, picking up the full 5 points. Didn't manage to shut it down before Rusty put 2 on the board, but that's still a negative points differential in favour of Windies in that jam. Windies managing to claw some back in the last couple of jams, reducing the deficit, but we are sat with just over a minute to go, and 84 points for Windies, 266 to Ireland.
So Cooney against Lil Savage. And it is Greenhow Cooney that picks up lead for Ireland as the period clock starts to tick below the 1 minute mark.
We have had a star pass for Windies. Booty Vicious, your pivot, now in possession of the star, yet to put it on her helmet, but just being recycled around on turn 1.
And it's called off, and we're seeing a team timeout called at the 24-second mark by Team West Indies.
Now, I was going to say, I feel like I've said the word star pass so much this game, and it looks like actually we've had, it's been a heavier split in favour of Windies, but we've had 15 star passes this game.
Wow, and how many of those come from West Indies?
We've got 12.
12 coming from West Indies, so just showing that is the tactic they're taking.
Yep.
Now, as we go into what is going to be likely the final jam, a very happy look at Holly's sheet on your screen. Holly.
It's just Holly now.
Just Holly.
Just Holly.
So straight after this game, you can tune into Australia, Sweden.
Ooh.
You can tune into Finland, Japan as well, that will be taking place simultaneously as this game ends, so you won't miss a thing.
Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on Australia, Sweden. They've both been kind of powerhouses so far this weekend.
I think that'll be an excellent game. I might have to run over there and go and catch it
Yes.
myself. And in the final jam, or what is likely to be the final jam of the game, it's Ireland that pick up lead, and it is a power jam, a cut track issued to Prisoner Cell Block for Team West Indies.
So we are looking at the track now on the second straightaway. Siobhan Murphy through on her first scoring pass for that full 5-point grand slam.
And if Murphy has a jam like she did earlier in the game, we could even see her tip the 300 mark before the game is out. But Murphy...
Spoke too soon. Murphy picking up a skating out of bounds penalty. So we're going to see a jammer switch out, which means this jam is going to run for the full 2 minutes.
Prisoner Cell Block now returning to the track, but not before Ireland make sure that they recycle her as far as they possibly can, stretching out that pack over quite some considerable distance. Prisoner Cell Block's full offense mode from Team West Indies.
Yes. We've got a little bit of a wave going in the audience. They are psyched for this final jam. Nice little bit of sweep on the inside from Violet Attack. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Murphy back on track, but so is Smacks. And attack. Oh, my goodness. Murphy taking hit after hit after hit, working our way through the pack and managing to maintain an upright and inbounds position to complete another scoring pass and pick up that full 5 points.
So now everyone nearly back on track. Team West Indies just down one blocker. Look at that tactically timed hit, but that is the full 2 minutes expired. Another 5 added on to Team Ireland's total, which gives us...
Let's see that again. 1 foot and everything. Oh.
So smooth. So the unofficial scores are 287 to Ireland with a phenomenal effort. West Indies with 84.
Just an incredible game.
Yeah, and there's your rolling whistle brought to you by Jam Timer Yoshi.
And that we can confirm that is your official final score, folks. 84 Windies, 287 Ireland. Absolutely, that's a banana tattoo? Yes, that is. Absolutely phenomenal game. And I know, as you mentioned before, the scores not necessarily reflecting, or not fully reflecting the action that we've seen on track. Windies continually tenacious. As we mentioned, some really beautiful glimmering moments of just genius. But a little bit too spaced out, not quite consistent enough to really crack down and...
No, and actually, but what was great is when we did get those moments from Team West Indies, they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
And that defence, those strong walls, that jam in the first period, when we only saw a lead in the last 3 seconds. I haven't seen one this weekend where it's taken that long.
And I think that's the jam of the game for me.
Yeah, I absolutely think so as well. I think it demonstrated the strength of both teams. So look at the wash of Irish flags as the tunnel that people are currently making their way through.
Absolutely wonderful. And do you know what? This is what roller derby is all about for me. We've got 38 teams from nations all across the globe, and they've all come together to celebrate this incredible sport at the highest level. And it just...
Look
sports
at the love.
Fans.
So
right?
thank you so much for joining us here at the Blood and Thunder track at the third day of the Roller Derby World Cup 2018. Keep posting your highlights, hashtag RDWC2018. We'll get them featured on the screen in between games. And you can switch over your feed right now to watch some more great games taking place. Australia and Sweden, Finland and Japan about to take place on feeds 1 and 3 respectively. I've been Brom.
I've been Snoogans. We've been joined by the fabulous Suffolk Punch on production. We will see you very soon. Thank you.